Hello and welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Blessing Adeoye, and for today we'll be teaching about sales and marketing strategy for sandwich panel. Based on my experience in this industry for almost a decade, I'll be teaching you everything that you need to know on how to go about it, marketing and the sales of sandwich panel. So the first thing that we need to look at is identifying the target market, right? So talking about the target market, understanding the specific industry or sector that uses sandwich panel, such as construction, shelter or office, cold storage or cooling trucks, industrial facilities, telecommunications, processing rooms, clean room, and other storage facilities. Now, let's look at the construction. Now, talking about construction, that's where we look at the insulated roofing, because definitely for someone to build, they need to use insulated roofing for their facility or for their residence, right? So you can make use of insulated roofing. You can make use of sandwich panel for partitioning, right? You can make use of foam board, which is the PU board for insulation, maybe for under slab insulation, or maybe for partition insulation, right? So that is for construction. That is where you need to identify your market. Now, talking about shelter and office, that's where we'll talk about the porta cabins, right? That's where you see the accommodations that people use on site, that all those expatriates, all those workers that they use on site. The porta cabin is either used for maybe an office or probably residence, right? So we need to look at porta cabin in terms of shelter. So you can use your sandwich panel to make porta cabins, right? So next one is cold storage. Everyone knows cold room, right? Sandwich panel is the only material that you use in making cold rooms, right? So, or cooling trucks, all those trucks that deliver ice cream, abattoir, processed food and stuff, right? So they need sandwich panel to make the box body, right? So now also we're looking at industrial facilities. Now you can see some warehouses that they need to do some partitions, or maybe they need to do some insulation in their warehouse, or they want to demarcate their processing rooms or anything, right? So you can make use of sandwich panels. Now, telecommunications. Talking about the booths, those they are panel booths, electrical panel booths, all those masked booths. So you can also use panels, sandwich panel, to make those kind of booths, right? So you need to understand that. Processing rooms as well. Processing rooms are where, maybe let's say, for example, companies like Nestle, Reckitt Bekiza, Dufil, and the likes, right? They have processing rooms. So sandwich panel is the only material that was being approved by NAFDAC to be used in this kind of industry, or shall I say in this kind of sector. So those are your target markets. So I'm trying to give you ideas of the market that you need to look into, right? So also talking about clean rooms. Now clean rooms are just so that I mentioned earlier, talking about Dufil, or talking about Nestle, Reckitt Bekiza, and the likes, right? So they do always have a clean room. Clean room is where they do um, most of their hygienic products, right? So sandwich panel is the only product that is being approved by NAFDAC to be used in these kind of places. So then lastly, agricultural storage facilities, right? So definitely you need a sandwich panel to do any storage facility for an agri produce, the because of the properties of the sandwich panel, right, which helps to control the temperature. Because by the time that you harvest your product from the farm, right, you need to put it in a temperature controlled area. So that is where your sandwich panel comes in. Product and market positioning. So you being a salesperson, you need to understand your product, and you need to understand how to position that product. So that's where we need to highlight the unique features and benefits of sandwich panels and porta cabin, such as energy efficiency. Talking about that, you need to understand the energy efficiency of the sandwich panel based on the thermal insulation property. So it makes it energy efficient. Take, for example, somebody that wants to insulate their buildings, you know that it's going to reduce the amount of heat that comes into the building. So, which it's also going to reflect on the amount of AC that they'll be using in that building, which also is going to reflect on the amount of energy that will be consumed in that building, right? So, also another key feature is quick installation. Now, let's say, for example, you want to install a porta cabin. It's a thing that can take you under a day or two. You're done with the setup, right? Because it's just a male and female locking. It's just a locking system. So it's actually a quick installation. Now, talking about lightweight, the product is actually a lightweight product. So it's not a product that has too much load or that is going to affect the load bearing of any structure. Also, we need to understand that it's also movable, right? So someone that makes a porta cabin can be transported from Lagos to maybe Shagamu or to Kano or to Calabar. So it's also movable. Then we talk about reusable, right? So when your customer buys a panel from you today, it's a thing that they can make use of in another 10 years. Maybe they bought it here in Lagos to do a partition for maybe for a warehouse or anything, and they want to relocate to another location. So they can still make use of that same panel. So they just take it apart, go to the new location and set it back again. So talking about durability, every sandwich panel is very durable because of the PPGI that comes that comes at the both sides. That's on the outer part and the inner part, right? So every panel can take up to like 25 to 30 years durability period. And also we talk about the aesthetics, right? So panels are aesthetically in nature based on the you can have a different corrugation style on the panel body, right, which can come out in a very pleasing manner. So we look at building brand awareness. Now, creating a strong brand presence through effective marketing campaigns, online presence, targeted advertising to increase your brand recognition and attract potential customers. Now, you need to understand that because of the type of products that you're selling or that you want to sell, so you need to understand your targeted audience, which was what we've actually discussed earlier, right? Talking about the construction industry, telecommunication, and the likes. So you need to know how to target your main audience, right? So by the time that you're doing your marketing campaigns, so you need to know how to target your audience. You need to know how to position yourself for your potential customers to be able to recognize your brand, right? So your targeted advert is what is going to help you to reach out to the main people that need your product, right? Because you need to understand the type of product that you're selling. So you selling or you going to target the wrong set of people for your product is going to be bad for you at the end of the day. So please, we need to understand that we need to target our we need to do our marketing campaign to target the right audience. So now we need to look at establishing partnership. Now, you as a salesperson, you need to establish the partnership in collaborating with architects, contractors, developer, quantity surveyor, and other stakeholders in the construction industry to promote the use of sandwich panels and porta cabin in building projects, right? So you being a salesperson, you need to understand the right people that you need to talk to. For you to sell, you need to partner with architects because they are the one that design buildings from the onset, right? So by the time the architect is actually suggesting or putting in his drawing on in his bill, right, that this project needs sandwich panel, so you become their contact person to execute the project. So we need to understand the key factor of establishing partnership. Contractors, developers, people that build, you need to establish a relationship with them. You need to establish a partnership with them. Quantity surveyors, they are the one that work on the bills. They are the one most time that allocate vendors on a project, right? So another stakeholders in the construction industries, you need to partner with them and make them understand the importance and the use of this sandwich panel. Providing technical support. Now, you as a salesperson, you need to understand how you need to provide a technical support to your customers, offering technical assistance where it is necessary. Product information helps the customer to make better decision and installation guidance to customers to build trust and confidence in the product and services. Now, take for example, you as a salesperson, a customer is coming to you that wants to build a cold room, right? Now, it is your own duty to be able to tell that the minimum thickness of panel that you're supposed to use is 100 and above, right? Now, a customer cannot come to you that they want to make a code room and is looking at making use of 40 or maybe 50 which is not going to work. So you need to provide a technical support for the customer to be able to make a better decision. So, and it also helps in the installation guidance, the type of material that they need to use. You need to make the customers to understand, because that makes the customer to have confidence and trust in you, right? Now we talk about customization. Now, offering customization options for sandwich panels and porta cabin to meet specific needs and requirements of customers, such as sandwich panel size, sandwich panel thickness, because we can have a different thickness. We can have 40 50 60 75, 80, 100, 120, 125, 150, 200, right? The height, we can have a different height. We can have 2 meter, 2.4, 2.1, 4.6, just to a maximum of like 12, 16 meters, right? So there's a customization option that you need to give to your customer. Then talking about color, you can decide the color of the sheet that needs to be used. Maybe they want white, they want blue, they want just any color, right? Insulation properties, workable steel members, and finishes. So all these you need to give your customer a you need to give your customer an option to work with. So it does not come up, or it does not come out like your product that you're trying to sell is just a generic size, right? So now we're talking about pricing, competitive pricing. Now, implementing competitive pricing strategies to attract customers is a very important factor to consider in order to increase sales volume. So now, here in Lange and Grant, we give the best price for you to be able to close out with any of your customers that you have, right? So, because as you know, to sell anything, you need to get the best pricing for you to be able to close out with your customer. So you coming to Lange and Grant to come and buy from us, or to come and partner with us, we offer a very good pricing. We offer the best pricing in the market, which is going to help you to close out with your customer and to help you increase your sales volume. After sales service. Now, providing excellent customer service after installation and delivery, warranties and support to maintain customer satisfaction and loyalty. So as a salesperson, your job is not just to sell to your customer. Your job is to sell, follow through and through, and offer after sales service, right? So after doing your installation, you go back, you go and check if everything is fine, to make sure everything is going smooth, the customer does not have any complaint, and or every complaint are being met, right? So you need to give support to your customer, because your customer wants you to feel, your customer wants to feel like you're part of the project. So after sales service is very, very important in sales, and to maintain your customer satisfaction and loyalty, which is what's going to bring the customer back again as a returning customer. So we have come to the end of this session, and I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. And do well to reach out to us if you have any question. We'll be glad to help. We'll be glad to support you. We'll be glad to walk you through any question that you might have. And don't forget, my name is Blessing Adeoye. See you on the next one.